I call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. The clerk will now take the roll.
Councilmember Porter,
Present.
Councilmember Middleton. Present. Councilmember Kavanaugh,
Present.
Councilmember Dundon,
Present.
Councilmember Strawn,
Present.
Councilmember Hotchkiss,
Present.
Council President Matavetsky.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay. We will now be making an appointment for the vacant seat in the 6th district. As per Judge McBride's recent ruling, we did receive a nomination from the Republican chair. That nomination was for Phil Strawn. Do I have a motion to appoint Phil Strawn? Right, seeing none, I have obtained a legal opinion which states that under our city charter, we must appoint someone who is a registered member of the Republican Party and currently resides at the 6th district. Would anyone else like to make a motion for the appointment for the 6th district?
I would like to make the motion to appoint Michael Costi for Binghamton City Council District 6 representative. Michael's going to be a great new addition to Binghamton City Council. He brings a background in finance, fresh and new energy. As we work across the aisle to be bipartisan, it is only right to pick a candidate that wasn't party to the election or the lawsuit. And I'd also like to add into the
Can I get a
minutes.
second before we move to discussions?
Well, I wasn't a discussion. I was going to add into the record of the
Okay.
minutes that I have his voter record report. So that way it will be access to anybody in the public that shows he is a registered Republican that lives in District 6.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Second.
All right, discussion. Councilman Strong.
Not exactly sure what's going on here, but I'm not sure why we put ourselves in a position to violate a court order. There's a process. Everybody here said that when they went through the process, they would follow the process, follow the judge's order. I tried to honor that. I tried to go through the process and wait and not create a disturbance or an issue. There's a legal side, there's a process side, there's a practical side. I'm not sure what the point is here. I mean, I'm easy to work with, I'm approachable. I'm not this crazy right-wing guy. I work at a children's home that helps children and families. I was at a meeting earlier today in Ithaca for a new program with Leah Webb, with her going to be her next opponent, Republicans, Democrats, everybody there to celebrate this new program for the children's home. I just don't understand what the practical side of this either. I don't know what the issue is. For 1 year, November, there's going to be another election. So why would you put yourselves in a position to violate a court order? Just a question. I'm not a bad guy. I'm a decent guy. You guys have all been decent to me. I think I've been decent to you. So I don't know what the practical side of this is either. This doesn't make any sense at all. I do have experience. We didn't agree on things, and you guys I like some of the things you've done, a lot of the things you've done. I like some of the new processes you've put in place. I like the clerk's office has been fantastic to me, and I appreciate that. All of you have been good to me, and I appreciate that. So I don't understand what the practical side of this is either. We're talking less, what about 8 months, less than 8 months to the election? What's the point? I received 550 votes, as did my opponent. If this was council at large, both Rebecca and I would be on this council with Hadassah and Kenya, and I believe Sophia Resinetti, if this was council at large. So it's not like I'm a random person that didn't get any votes from the city residents. So I just like to say this. I haven't said a lot to defend myself. I see a lot of attacks at me. And I'm not sure why, to be honest with you. So that's what I want to say. Thank you.
I'll comment on that. And Councilman
Dundon.
Councilman Strawn, this has nothing to do personal, but like you said, you and both, it has nothing, no, it has nothing to do with being personal. It's being bipartisan. We asked for more names in good faith because you nor Rebecca won your election. It was a failure to elect. So neither you nor Rebecca should sit at the seat. The judge made it very clear that we had to try to work with the Republican committee. And we asked the chair, we asked the mayor, we have the records to show we asked for more than one name and we did not receive one. But it also said, as long as it is a Republican that is registered to District 6, and we picked one that is registered to District 6 that is bipartisan and has no political ties, so it's fresh, new energy. So now if you're not so worried about sitting there for 8 months, like you said, oh, it's only 8 months, well, then go run and win your election in November.
Any other discussion?
Sure, I would just,
Councilman Hotchkiss.
yeah, I would just add that we're not in violation of the court order, and that's why we're doing this. We don't think that there's a a legal problem with this process. And as far as a tie election, I don't think any party is going to be satisfied with who's sitting in the seat because no one won. And by having someone that was in that who's running again, sitting in the seat, I think that creates a unfair advantage, and it's like it should just be a clean break and you guys should have to run off again.
Okay, Corporation Counsel has wished to enter the discussion.
Council President, you mentioned that. Council President, you mentioned that you got a legal opinion. Can you clarify who that was from?
Yes, so obviously we had counsel after we were sued. And once we got the results from the case, we met with our attorney to understand the judgment, and we were walked through our attorney explained to us what the court ruling meant and what that meant for going forward. Any further discussion?
I'll speak. For me, first off, Phil, it is definitely not about you. You've been kind to me personally from the beginning. So it's not about you. I just want you to know that it's nothing personal against you. From the beginning, once we ran in November, we received a text that said that we were all going to work together. However, it has been for me personally hell with this whole thing. Even last night, I could not sleep because it's just a lot of back and forth. This isn't national politics. This is local politics. And at the end of the day, it's about service. It's not about Republican or Democrat. Whoever you meet, whatever religion you believe in, at the end of the day, when you meet your maker, God, Allah, whoever you believe, they're not going to say, were you a Republican? Were you a Democrat? They're going to say, how did you service your neighbor? How did you service each other? So to me, this is about service. And I want to make sure that the people of Binghamton are serviced. So it's honestly not about anyone. I would love to work with whoever. I don't care if they're a Republican or Democrat, because I have great friends that are Republicans. Those things don't matter. This is not national politics. It's honestly, this city is too small for us not to work together. And to me, all of this, even this here today, is very upsetting because it should not be. So I just hope after this that we can really move on, whatever the repercussions may be or whatever may happen. I really hope that we really can move on, because like we said in meetings, Binghamton, New York is number 3 in poverty rate, right? It's number 3, right? We cannot afford to have this back and forth and this battle. We really all need to work together. So that's all.
Any further discussion? Councilman Strong.
Just one other point to my colleagues on both sides of me. My only question would be, if that was the case, then why was the appointment made on that Friday night for Rebecca Rathmel? Why wasn't that appointment to another person? If that appointment was to another person, then intellectual honesty would probably lead me to just stand up and resign right now and say, yeah, you got a good point. That appointment was for Rebecca Rathmel. So I don't know how you can honestly say that neither one of us should sit here. I was sat here, she was appointed, she was sworn in on the oath book that night. That was, unless I'm wrong, I think it was Rebecca Rathmel that was actually sworn in. So
Can you correct me on the record? Were you not sworn into the county clerk prior to that?
my point is. that
Well,
there
no,
could
no,
be a
that's
different
exactly the
person.
point. Exactly the point.
If
You were
it's just a
sworn in and then
different
we
person.
reacted. You cannot say in
One
our
at a time, one at a
reaction,
time.
in our reaction, we did something wrong and that's who sat there. We reacted to you already being appointed with the county clerk. So why were you appointed first to make yourself want to be sat there and then question us on our reaction?
I'm not questioning you. I'm just saying. you just said-
Councilman
you
Strong,
just
let's
said
take
it should-
turns.
You
Councilman
just said
Strong.
it should be neither one of us. That's all I'm
Exactly.
saying.
And you were picked, so then we picked Rebecca. But
Councilman
now
Evans.
that it's
I'm
our
not the one
pick,
that's questioning it.
now that it's our pick, we're picking
Guys.
somebody out of both.
We're gonna
Sure,
take turns.
then, too.
Guys, we're gonna take turns. All right. Guys. All right. If you have something to say, do you want to speak, Councilman Strong? Anything else? Councilman Dundon, anything else? Anybody else? Okay. No? Okay.
Yeah. I don't
Okay,
know.
Councilman Hotchkiss.
Yeah, sure. I'll respond to that because so I haven't spent this much time thinking about a tie election, and if you think that spend 2 months, 2.5 months, contemplating like what that means and looking how the law really doesn't do a great job covering that. Yeah, we have stuff about vacancies and failures to elect, and it's very vague because it's like a very nebulous and rare subject. But then if you sit with it and like think about the failures like of where the laws are on the books and why we actually came to this conclusion where we had a lawsuit that it wasn't really outlined clearly. It's like you're thinking about it kind of transforms, and I just wanted to offer you that explanation.
Anyone else with comments? Okay, I'm gonna make my comments now. I want to say on the record that had there been a motion and a second, I would have voted for Councilman Strawn. Just gonna put that on the record there. But there was no motion, there was no second. And we do need to appoint. Since there is no further discussion, unless anyone wants to react to what I just said, I will have the clerk call the roll so that we can be in compliance with a timely appointment to the 6th district of a Republican.
Councilmember Porter,
I appoint Mike Costing.
Councilmember Middleton,
Yay.
Councilmember Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Councilmember Dundon,
Aye.
Councilmember Strawn,
Since it's not for me, I'm assuming I can vote. I'm not the appointee, right?
The question that Corporation Counsel is considering right now is whether or not Councilman Strawn in his holdover position can vote in this appointment since it is not related to him as the appointee. So we're conferring with legal and they will jump on the microphone when they have an opinion.
So reviewing the rules, since it is a vote, motion for a vote on the district that he's currently serving in as a holdover, I think it would be a conflict and he'd have to recuse. However, council would have to vote on that recusal before he could publicly recuse.
Corporate
sorry,
counsel,
well-
can you clear up though why we need a vote if somebody has to recuse of a conflict of interest? Because sometimes a conflict of interest, other people wouldn't know you would have. So how can they chime in on that?
Yeah, so if there's a conflict of interest, council members should disclose that and basically do a public recusal. And then under the law, council would have to vote on that to allow that member to recuse from that vote.
Thank you. So do I hear a motion for recusal?
I'll make the motion.
I second.
Okay, so can the clerk take a roll?
Councilmember Porter,
Yay.
Councilmember Middleton, Councilmember Kavanaugh,
Yay, sorry.
Councilmember Kavanaugh,
Nay.
Councilmember Dundon,
Yay.
Councilmember Strawn. Sorry, excuse me, Councilmember Hotchkiss,
Aye.
Council President Matavetsky.
Aye.
That's 6-1.
Right, the motion carries. 5.
Me, 5-1, matter of
Okay.
habit.
The motion for recusal carries. Okay, so now we're back to our roll call that we were in the midst of.
Councilmember Hotchkiss,
Yes, I'm voting to appoint Mike Costi for District 6.
Council President Matavetsky,
I vote to appoint Mike Costi for District 6.
Great, that is 6-0.
Motion carries. Thank you. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make
take-
a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Hi.
Aye. We're adjourned.